so therefore I may say, Jah himself, King Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari. Salam alaikum, Zakia Muhammad, good morning, and welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. Now, the dragon of the mountain is awoke. I'm freezing my butt off here, and of course, needless to say, residents, dissidents, constitutionists, revelers, rioters, and people who can't put on their pants directly in the morning at all. Or for that matter, ain't got no heat in their damn apartment. Welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. And I'm looking for a gun. Yes. Welcome to the KTNG Morning Show, and I am your host with a boast from the left coast to the right coast to the south. The irrepressible mouth. The G to the R to the I to the T to the Z. Zesty on beat on top of the mountain all the way down to the freeway all day. That's right. No freak on the peak who's about to speak. And if you don't open up your mind, you won't learn anything for the rest of the week. And I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, it sounds like somebody that lost their dang mind. Lance Carter, where have you been? All right, what's happening? Brother Carter, good morning, good morning. I ain't seen you in a minute. How's life? How's the family? I hope everything's going well with you. It's a pleasure to have you come through on the show. Needless to say, I am freezing my butt off up here. I am live. This is us, KTNG860am.org, Unified Community Broadcasting. Talking Soul Radio for all of Colorado Springs and the world. And it is like 6 degrees up here, so if I look like I'm wrapped up like some foreign burrito and everything like that, by and large, it means that I am freezing my tushkis, okay? Anyway, let's get into the news of the day. Richard Clark, what's up? Big Rich, what's going on with your crazy self? Whoa, what's going on, man? Oh my God, I'll tell you, love you guys, man. Love you guys for joining the conversation. Doing a simulcast here on Facebook and YouTube, so if you are on YouTube, you can reach us at MushLuv'd by Jah, the KTNG Morning Show. These things go on forever and ever and ever. I'm up to 270 some odd episodes since I've been out here. 7 years running, people. 7 years running, still doing the same thing. But I've been doing this line of work. I've been doing this line for like at least about a good, I don't know, 30 some odd years since I was 6 years old. Duh. Okay, anyway, let's get on to some of our stories here that are more poignant on everything. Now, as we do know, I asked a question earlier today. What's more important, strawberries or people when it comes to immigration? We're going to find out in a minute. In the meantime, as we all know and have seen throughout pretty much the echo box from Fox News, even though they're laboriously trying to put together a news a program segment or anything of that nature that sounds like, you know, advice going from, say, Sean Hannity to Cheeseburger. Now, we all know who Cheeseburger is on this channel, right? Cheeseburger is the man with the small hands. Yeah, claps like a seal. He expresses everything. Who has a melodious voice, so he can make sure everybody knows what he's talking about. Like some 5-year-old who just came from out of a zoo. All right, now, he's also the PPT man, the man who basically has no tax plans or tax returns that will be seen. Also, your master-in-chief and disgust and rust. Your commander in beef and stress in all-American mess. Cheese! Burger, 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 burger! And we're not talking about the Tommy Jr.'s edition either. I love Tommy's, man, but I would never go and have a cheeseburger anyplace else, okay? For real. Anyway, so here it is. This is what we got going on here, right? Check this out. I believe it or not, New York Times, and let's see, they've put together a nice little piece on Cheeseburger early this morning. All right, so if anything, I want to make sure I have this backup here ready, just in case. Anyway, as it says, intimidation, pressure, and humiliation inside Cheeseburger's 2-year war on investigations encircling him. So now that we now know that, you know, the sharks are circling the stranded swimmer in the middle of the ocean, he's looking for people to throw their bodies on hand grenades that are coming at his ass. Literally. I mean, come on. Wasn't Michael Cohen the same person who sat there and said, I would take a bullet for this guy? only to like find themselves, pretty much in the Robert Mueller investigation. And then from that point, which is amazing to me, is that he not only flipped on him, everybody else has flipped on him. Roger Stone, you're next, buddy. Because everybody that's ever been indicted or pretty much sitting in prison right about now for all their lies to Congress, lies to the American public, lies to cover their butts, it all makes sense, doesn't it? New York Times. Federal prosecutors in Manhattan gathered evidence late last year about Cheeseburger's role in silencing women with hush payments during his 2016 campaign. Cheeseburger called Matthew G. Whitaker, his newly installed Attorney General, with a question. He asked whether if Jeffrey Berman, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and a Trump ally, could be put in charge of the widening investigation, according to several American officials with direct knowledge of the call. So, this is amazing. This is totally amazing. How do you think they'll be able to put judges and people in place to protect you when you're busy screwing this country over left and freaking right? This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay? Okay, so Whitaker basically is like he's not recused himself from this investigation. And they've been trying to get Robert Mueller up out of there for I don't know what, for days on end, months on end. They're trying to end this investigation and throw it out the window. However, it's not from the inside of the White House that matters. It's the stuff that happens on the outside. Okay? So what's the difference here between strawberries and immigrants? I'll get to that in a second. Now, White House lawyers wrote a confidential memo expressing concern about the president's staff peddling misleading information in public about the firing of Michael T. Flynn. Now, we all know that Mike Flynn took a dive, he took a bullet, and he lied, and he got caught out there. He's going to do jail time just as well. I mean, there's like 7 people that are basically looking at prison time at this point. All right? So, what is it? What is it that makes this story so amazing at this particular point is the fact that the lies are starting to surface. And no matter how many men, how many horses that the king puts up and whatnot, our constipated dictator is essentially trying to maneuver people in front of him to shield him from being blasted on. What is he hiding? I mean, despite the fact that he's hiding 30 extra pounds on his body, makes him think. I mean, I could fat shame the crap out of him because I remember when Donnie was as skinny as a rail. I can remember him then. All right, now it is a public relations strategy as much as a legal strategy and campaign to create a narrative of a president haunted and hounded by his deep state foes. The new Democratic majority in the House and the prospect of a wave of investigations on Capitol Hill this year will test whether the strategy shores up Cheeseburger's political support or put his presidency in greater peril. The president has spent much of his time venting publicly about being no collusion. No collusion, when every step that this bozo did in his campaign added the collusion into it. There's no collusion. All you have to do is just find the words that is dropped off in different lettered syllables in everything that he says. And you can see the word collusion if you're not hearing it. All right? But then again, there are some major Trump supporters out there. Some major Cheeseburger supporters out there that believe the referencing of the devil himself to be the almighty word of God. And for the evangelicals who are basically out there supporting him and providing what's left of his 35% base, his low popular opinions, his popularity sucks right about now. I mean, good grief, I'm better off watching bozo reruns from 1957 than listening to an actual bozo that's trying to run the country into the damn dirt. Come on, people. The economy is doing so well. How come there's like, I got friends of mine out here who can't even find work. But it is suggested that by 2075, 57 or something around in there, 2057, there's going to be a population explosion here in Colorado Springs because people are going to come out here for what we would call like, retirement, veterans, cheap rent, that sort of thing. But they are making a marker of, like, say, raising, say, like, the utility fees and whatnot. So Coloradans, look out. They're discussing this in City Hall, if you did not know. Anyway, the fact of the matter is this. Far from the routine criminal investigation on both ends, where you have the Southern New York, Department of Justice going after Cheeseburger, and then you have Robert Mueller's investigation going on. It's like it's between a rock and a hard place. But I bet you anything in the world, Southern New York is going to roast him and flay him alive. He will see fines. He might even see jail time. I mean, what's the running odds on a tontine for that one? 20-1? Good odds, I must say. Anyway, there is a reason why we are stuck with such a dotard that thinks he's a genius, that thinks he comes from a, his genes promote genius, okay? He's not a builder, people. He is supposed to be like this master negotiator. This master deal happened out of nowhere. Really? Really? I mean, come on. This deal making has caused not only the UK and several of our past allies that we have disassociated ourselves from, and we isolated this country in some sort of totalitarian faction, to make him look like a strongman leader, to make him look like the constitutional dictator that we all love and voted for. Somehow, common sense has slipped our minds. And therefore, we all have to ask ourselves the same question we ask every day when Bozo speaks. How did we get here? Here's my violin as the days go by. Anyway, got something here that really makes it pretty much obvious of how much of a dotard this fool is. Now, I go through this whole thing every single day describing exactly, why am I getting such a reverb like this? Oh my God. It's bouncing all over the place here. Oh well. Anyway, I guess it makes good for special effects. Anyway, when you have people in Korea who defect, North Korea who defect, and say this is the reason why Cheeseburger has been made a chump of, it's because there was no deal agreed in North Korea. I mean, right about now, Putin is like saying, even though you're my clinical ass bucket right about now, if you bring any short-range to intermediate nuclear weapons in Europe, we are going to be on your ass as much as we are on your ass about Venezuela. And therefore, when it came to North Korea, that first step into this photo op, which was disgraceful, it was disgraceful, but it was not as bad as throwing underneath the bus for the policy of loving Russia. Okay? The only reason why he wants to love Russia is because he's got that shaved down Bigfoot of a wife of his. That's right. That's why. Miss, I can't speak English all that good with my anchor baby and my grandfather parents, who are about as old as Cheeseburger himself. Yeah, I know I go back over it every now and then, but what the hell? Okay. This is the funny part, all right? This is the funny part. If North Korea could actually sit there and say, that Kim Jong-un can use the threat of war and Cheeseburger's own hysterical rhetoric to create a situation where he appears a peacemaker and the U.S. forces are out of the peninsula. Really? Really? This is a man who basically shook hands, nodded, didn't understand a word this man was talking about, oh, we can sleep better at night. I can't even sleep in my own house. I got no heat. We're still in danger, people. We're still in danger because the homeboy is still, working on his nuclear factories, even as we speak. Blowing up dummy ones, so that way, all of our GSAT satellites that have been, flying around, looking at, let's see, I think it's Nordstat. Yeah, one of them. Well, Comstat. Yeah, Comstat. the comm satellites and so forth, the number one thing that the NRA actually uses to spy on you, me, and everybody else, they took satellite photographs of like, oh, the North Koreans are blowing up the installation, their nuclear installations, and blah, 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 blah. Dummy bases, man. Anything to give the look-see, or the perception, as they would say, of them actually complying to the world's greatest strongman, who has the spine of a freaking jellyfish, who has probably the propensity and the mental aptitude of a 5-year-old lost in a damn zoo. Okay? Yeah, nobody does this. But here is a man who subsequently aids in the genocide of people around the world, and does not take responsibility for it whatsoever of ruining people's lives. It's all about the cheeseburger, and see if he can brand his name across the planet so therefore people are subjugated to garbage on a day-to-day basis. Look what happened, okay, in Armenia. Huge-ass Trump Tower nobody's living in. Ivanka is supposedly, like, you know, managing the place. As a matter of fact, around the world, people are taking cheeseburgers' names off the buildings. Yeah. So even there's a bunch of emollients that is going on with cheeseburger around this, that, and everything else, and he still finds time to play golf in the middle of a national emergency. Half of America says no. Okay, 70% still want to charge, tax the hell out of the super wealthy. Okay, and Medicare for all is still a buzzing ideal for the 2020 elections, but that's speaking too far into the future for a lot of us who don't even understand why we have one. I can tell you that in a minute. Anyway, it is very indicative of cheeseburger to do these sort of things, and for the most part, why we sit there and allow this crap and cacophony to continue. All right, hang on, people. We got some craziness going on. Technical problems as usual, but we still keep going. So the novel response here, if I can actually get this story up, okay. I mean, if everything's good and whatnot until, about broadcast time, when, say, the government and NORAD and everybody else and their mama slows down my access. I love it. Obviously, I must be doing something right in order for them to seriously interfere with what I'm doing here. Oh well, so much for that. Okay, so let's get all this together. Okay, let's get all this together because this is getting ridiculous now. Okay, I'm serious. All right, now that's why I like having extras. I like having backups to the backups to the backups. Sometimes those backups don't work as well as they should. All right, even still, we can go on rambling here, which I try not to do. But what I try to do is I try to find a perspective on and what the American people should be thinking about doing, such as having the consciousness, the actual upright consciousness, to see the error of their ways and, try and turn them around at least. But when you're following someone who acts like a wannabe dictator, who condemns both black, brown, and anybody else darker than a cup of latte, but, I mean, come on. The guy's basically is about as useful as cappuccino foam. Okay, straight up and down. Okay, it looks like everything is pretty much frozen here. Oh, gotta love that. Oh, well, these sort of things happen and I must move on. And I do apologize for that, people, but this is the stasis of what we got going on here that drives me nuts on a day-to-day basis. So, let's see. If I can get this story up, this will add to the whole thing. This will pretty much put everything in a nutshell for us. So let's just hope and pray this actually works while I work on the other stories as well. And see if we can get these things actually to work here. I tell you. That unless I pay for business class, in which I can't afford. Yeah, I'm a poor man. Straight up. But I held on to all the things that matter to me. Okay, now, okay. Oh, there's laws that are coming up. Okay, come on here. This is the one story that I wanted to, relate to everybody. as to why, you know, Kim Jong-un has made Cheeseburger look like a complete idiot. People who are selling wolf tickets basically scare the crap out of their own population. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of good reasons for it. I mean, by I think it's what, 2750, many so-called caustic races are going to wind up finding themselves on extinction because they lack diversity. Okay, South Korea is one of them. Think about it, people. All right, all these centuries, and so when you used to have big families and you went and did your own eugenics, yeah, real nice, real nice. All right, let's see what we got. Here we go. All right, lawmakers seek probe of ICE force-feeding immigrants. Why? Why? Because they're on a strike. Because of this immigrant policy that we made here in this country, it's a part of the central campaign, presidential campaign that is still being ran today. And people in this country think that this is going to work. Sure, there may be, say, like work being done on 14 miles of the wall already, but it's a fence. You're not getting much, you're not getting no more than that, if anything. And they're probably just retrofitting stuff that's already happened. It's already been there. It's not new. It's not new construction at all. It's repairs. Understand, people, it's repair and replacement. America is kind of cheap in that sense. Not to mention that the steel tariffs that we placed on everybody makes it kind of difficult for us to have our own ironworks here. Doesn't matter if a ladder can be used to scale it. Doesn't matter if it takes like a $25 shovel to dig up underneath it. Fact of the matter, no wall is going to ever stop anybody from actually coming through here. So as soon as we actually realize that reality, and after we've seen it so many times, I'm going to put some stuff here together for you so this way you understand what I'm talking about. All right? Now, nearly 50 Democratic lawmakers called for a watchdog investigation of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, yesterday after the agency confirmed that it had been force-feeding immigrant detainees on a hunger strike. Why? Why are they force-feeding these people? Why? They don't want them to die on their shift. It's already bad enough that children have been separated and have died on the shift that ICE has been. Now on Thursday, an all force feeding at the detention centers near El Paso Airport abruptly stopped after a U.S. district judge said the government had to stop involuntary feeding 2 of the detained migrants. Yes, Corey, what's going on? What's going on? Good morning, my man. 49 lawmakers are calling for the Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General to investigate the on-site conditions of ICE facilities and policies surrounding involuntary force feeding of immigrant detainees. Early this month, the Geneva-based United Nations Human Rights Office, you mean to tell me that, you know, the Human Rights Commission at the United Nations actually spoke up? Wow. They said the United States could be violating the UN Convention Against Torture. Guantanamo Bay, right here in the United States. Didn't have to go that far. We implore you to exercise your oversight responsibilities to make improving conditions at immigration detention facilities and a top priority for ICE to ensure that humane treatment of detainees in federal custody. That will never happen because Cheeseburger is trying to send some right-wing idiot into the UN as an ambassador to the United States, which, like my girl Haley, sucked at. These complaints reveal unequivocal abuses of power that violate the rights of detainees. Cheeseburger wields unequivocal abuses of power, okay, to, I would say, violate everybody's human rights, violate everybody's civil rights, to basically destroy the Constitution and make democracy in this country a fabled thing of access. Really. Unbelievable. ICE declined to comment to Brenda Americans. What's happening, baby? Good morning. Love you. Mwah. Yes, I'm sitting up here freezing to death. Okay? ICE declined to comment directly on the request for an investigation Tuesday, but said the agency has a quote-unquote strict zero-tolerance policy for any kind of abusive or inappropriate behavior in its facilities. That's garbage. How do you explain the death of 2 children? How do you explain the beatings and the mistreatment of children that have already been in detention? We're talking teenagers, okay? We're talking about throwing, strings on the floor and saying, use that for dental floss. Use your boot laces for dental floss. Okay? The same sporadic treatments that prisoners get in prison are the same crap that's happening here on the border. I'm nowhere near the border. Just like Montana, that should be sold for $1 million or for $1 trillion, so that way it can pay, the United States debt. Therefore, Canada could take a huge chunk out of the United States. I'm surprised the Chinese haven't done it because we already owe them well over $800 trillion. We owe them. What do you think, Radio Shack? Why do you think Radio Shack became Tandy Corporation? Oh my God, love you too. Detained immigrants have sporadically staged hunting strikes around the country for years, protesting conditions while they're seeking asylum. Now, asylum judges, which are military-based, have not come up to speed when it comes to understanding immigration law at all. This was a quick Band-Aid fix over a giant elephant-sized hole that Cheeseburger himself did not think all the way through. So for this man to consider himself a genius, I'm almost like laughing. I'm laughing at the human dotard that goes beyond it, okay? So here it is. Here's a count now. I said Tuesday, 13 immigrants from Cuba, India, Mexico, and Nigeria held in detention facilities nationwide are refusing food, but none are being force-fed. That includes 10 detainees from El Paso's processing center, 1 at the Irwin County Detention Center in Georgia, 1 at the Chrome Service Processing Center in Florida, and 1 at the Central Arizona Correctional Center. Correctional Center? Isn't that a prison? I mean, El Paso's just up the block here at Supermax, okay? One hunger striker in El Paso, an asylum seeker from an Indian state of Punjab, had previously described the process as involving being dragged from his cell 3 times a day and strapped down on a bed as a group of people poured liquid into tubes inserted into his nose. Forced feeding, which began under a court order earlier this year, had not previously been reported. It's the same thing as waterboarding. So, foul and inhumane treatment. Oh, we could never be this. We're a nation of law. We write policies in love and understanding, which is probably the biggest bold-faced lie I ever heard in my life. And in practice, in the stupendous practice of it, yes, people, yes, okay? People are wondering. People are fearing. People are scared. People are terrified over the premise of garbage. And that garbage, needless to say, that garbage has spread out so far, are going to a lot of people who think they have entitlement to say, this is our nation and da-da-da-da-da, when your numbers are decreasing generation after generation. You cannot have an ethno-state in America no better than, say, a whole swarm of termites trying to chew a hole through a still hull of a battleship. Halfway point, people. This is the KTNG Morning Show. We're in the Frozen Chosen set. I'm bundled up like a badass burrito because for the last 3 days, this is no joke, last 3 days, my heating unit, I don't know what the hell happened, but and I have a witness. Yesterday, Walter Wiswati was here. He knows. He said, I'm braised. A new shiny wall with Cheeseburger's face plastered all over it, making him look like Obey. Now, if y'all don't know the Obey posters and whatnot from back in the early, full on the American side, but ugly on the Mexican side. Why? Because they didn't pay for it. Not paying for the freaking wall, so what are you crying about? The Department of Defense to get some of the money. The White House is looking like, actually paying for it. Okay, people, where do your taxes go? In the military, in the infrastructure, in the congressional, here in this cold-ass weather, basically, hauling frozen strawberries from Mexico to the United States is in custody after customs officers at the Texas port found nearly $13 million worth of meth hidden in the trailer. Now, for people who are sitting up there saying, oh, this is so great because now we have we're trying to stop the war, we're trying to implement this case for a war on drugs that are coming into our country illegally. You people have to, Hakan Aktun, Salam alaikum, my brother, good morning. You have to admit one thing, okay? Since this came by a legal port of entry, it was not like they made a left, then a right, and then a left, and then another left at Albuquerque to get there. I wonder who says that a lot. Ha! Here's this idiot trying to describe how people get illegal drugs and into the country when they're coming factually right through a legal port of entry. Okay? What port of entry is this from? Let's go on with the story. In a statement, Customs and Border Protection and officers working at the Far Reynoso International Bridge cargo facility Saturday encountered a 42-year-old male Mexican citizen with a commercial shipment of frozen strawberries arriving from Mexico. CBP referred the shipment for further inspection to discover 350 packages of alleged methamphetamine concealed within the trailer. Authorities seized the tractor trailer along with 906 pounds of methamphetamines, which is roughly about $13 million. Nice. Quote unquote, this was an outstanding interception of our officers' accomplishments this weekend, said Port Director David Gonzalez of Hidalgo Far Anzoladas Port of Entry. A legal port of entry. That's how those bad drugs are getting into the country, by illegal ports of entry. And if it's not reported like it is right here, then why am I reading it? Our officers' astute sense of awareness and tenacity is unparalleled and truly commendable when they're at a legal port of entry. It looks good. So why do you need a wall? Why do you need funding for something that makes us more segregationist than anything else? All we're doing is practicing this form of racism, which is economic racism. Economic segregation. Straight up and down. That's all we're practicing, and this is all that we're doing. Vic Manuman, Wu-Tang, what's up? Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. Far Reynoso International Bridge is a major port of entry for the U.S.-Mexican border, and it handles both commercial and passenger vehicles. About 175,000 vehicles cross the bridge each month, according to Texas officials. So the fact that 103 people basically got stopped by Border Patrol illegally are now going to be processed for asylum. Okay? Now, for the main port of entry that saw $13 million of drugs come through on frozen strawberries have really got to reassess their account of how many other tractor trailers or drivers, commercial and otherwise, have gotten past that port of entry with drugs. We're talking heroin, cocaine, LSD, you name it, mushrooms, marijuana, come on. It's a pharmacy that comes from up underneath there, and you mean to tell me they're coming through legal ports of entry, and our idiotic president is too stupid to realize the facts, except for the ones that he makes up in his head. Brilliant! Totally freaking brilliant! Unbelievable. Because now, despite all the lawsuits out there, the White House moves forward with wall funding. Ugly. CNN, the White House is moving forward with plans to shift existing federal funds to pay for construction of a wall on the southern borders. Okay. Now, in the face of several lawsuits challenging Cheeseburger's authority to declare a national emergency, which is basically a half-cocked ideal, an abuse of presidential powers. More so, it's just simply the coup de grace to what we call a national temper tantrum. One that we have seen that covers about 8,549 lies that this jackass has spewed out of his mouth. No, there is no hatred for the media. It's just a hatred for the way the media reports on how stupid he is. In the face of several lawsuits challenging Cheeseburger's authority to declare a national emergency to relocate billions of dollars towards a border wall, the White House plans to first draw from the Department of Defense Drug Interdiction Program and the Treasury Department's Assets Forfeiture Fund before moving to divert military construction funds, the official said. Now, if you are, as they would say, missing your taxes or not being able to find the money that is due to you, go through the Treasury Department's Asset Forfeiture Funds and find your name. If for some stupid reason we cannot fight the war on drugs much longer, then the Defense Department's Drug Interdiction Program will be ceased to exist, allowing more drugs to come into the country because we were stupid enough to divert the money from operations and keeping such things like $13 million worth of methamphetamines from reaching the United States. So we make it that much more easier for people to basically just climb over, go up underneath, or find a way around the damn thing. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay? Unlike the first two pots of money, the latter can only be assessed through a national emergency declaration, which is now the focus of several lawsuits. While the administration is not yet enjoined from assessing these funds, the White House is bracing for the possibility that a federal court could issue an injunction on accessing the military construction funds as a result of the lawsuits. He knows, I'm 100% sure, that is using the pressure of that border on both people and politics. You are so right, Vic. What scares me even more so is that he is not making value judgments or taking in consideration that there is no problem. If immigration, illegal and or otherwise, has dropped, has down at a 20-year low, and the only reason why you have Central Americans up here is by sheer knowing, okay? The Iran-Contra affairs had a lot to do with this. Oliver North should be dead by now. Reagan is rolling in his grave, and probably he's on a rotisserie stick in hell being tossed around right about now. But the fact of the matter is this. During the 80s, when the Iran-Contra affair was going on in the United States, we were busy out there raping and killing 12-year-old girls, children, women, cutting up people and so forth. And therefore, for the people who had done that, were done on a private notice from the government itself. Our government went there and destroyed most of that area. So for us to sit here and then, in a hypocritical sense, say that, oh my God, this is terrible. We can't have all these people coming through here. This caravan, this invasion. Ooh. Then we deserve it because we made the freaking mess to begin with. Okay? That's what kills me. 16 states on Monday filed a lawsuit challenging Cheeseburger's authority to divert federal funds to build the border wall by declaring a national emergency. It is one of several lawsuits challenging Cheeseburger's emergency declaration. Keep in mind, people, that when you're calling for a national emergency, you have to have proof to back it up. This bozo does not have has nothing to back up. Okay? So at this point, right now, he only has like 1.3 billion. For additional barriers on the southern border. 14 miles of it, that's all he has. He's trying to get 8 because he dropped 2. I mean, I don't think you can actually go into Vegas or Atlantic City and try and double up a bet that you lost. Unless you're stupid at the tables. Obviously, bozo is stupid. Okay? So we had to drop this, we had to drop this, and we had to drop that. Which makes the case of Kim Jong-un saying what he did say. Daily Beast. There's no way North Korea is going to give up its nukes, says Pyongyang's most prominent defector. And if Cheeseburger doesn't watch out, Tai Hung-ho predicts he will slip into the quicksand of a deal that will lead inevitably to withdraw America's 30,000 troops from South Korea. Keep in mind, people, South Korea is having a population crisis. I mean, you can walk up and down there. I mean, I had a friend of mine named John who lived in South Korea for like for a couple of years, and prostitution is like on an all-time high out there. You got middle-aged ladies sitting up there saying Bacchus. There's little energy drinks. They're called Bacchus ladies. And they'll sell you those things, okay? So that way you can have a stiffy. One of the reasons being is because they have a park out there. They have a park out there called Sex Park. It has everything that you ever wanted to see in full-blown pornography. But the fact of the matter is this: they're in a population crisis right about now, in which they're seeing declining numbers. The older generation is getting older. And therefore, those who are waiting to get married are 31 and over. They're not even, many younger South Koreans live with their parents. Fact of the matter is this, okay? In a meeting of foreign correspondents here, Tai outlined the dangers of facing U.S. policy with the emergence of what he called the Cheeseburger Doctrine. It bears a distinct resemblance, he says, of what the Nixon Doctrine, which led the United States to pull its troops from South Vietnam and finally opened the way for North Vietnamese forces to overrun Saigon nearly half a century ago. Now, for all of us who were born back then and saw this happening on a day-to-day basis on NBC Nightly News and ABC News and CBS News with Walter Cronkite, boo-hoo-hoo, yeah, I remember this, okay? When it comes to political recall like this, I basically go through a lot, okay? But this, Tay is not a random refugee from the North. He's a career North Korean diplomat
who was the second-ranking person in Pyongyang, London's embassy until South Korea's National Intelligence Service helped him and his wife and 2 sons defect in August of 2016,
right around the time when Cheeseburger was making his campaign run. Coincidence?
The doctrine proclaimed by President Richard Nixon on July 1969 laid the groundwork for Vietnamization, under which the United States counted for South Vietnamese forces to fight and win on their own. Pretty much what we're doing in Afghanistan. Pretty much, pretty much. Because if we leave up out of these areas and we say, okay, you're on your own, they'll get overrun. El King Keesis, good morning. Blessings, and welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. So, what's different? Time made it clear in a wide-ranging session at the Foreign Correspondents Club here that North Korea now has the threat of nuclear warheads. Russia already warned the United States about bringing intermediate missiles onto, European soil. So even if they did get a wolf ticket about a hypersonic missile, the United States has nothing. Because we are going to be so stupid enough to take money from out of the Department of Defense to build a damn wall. What level of common sense is there when you have a dotard that basically does this? Okay? Oh my God. And not only that, but we not forgotten, we almost forgot, Saudi Arabia. You guys are having issues right about now with Cheeseburger. Of course you are. Axios, House Democrats probe White House's nuclear power efforts in Saudi Arabia. House Democrats plan to investigate claims from multiple whistleblowers that some of Cheeseburger's administration appointees have proposed selling nuclear power plants to Saudi Arabia over the objections of the top national security officials, according to the interim staff report released Tuesday by the House Oversight Committee. I'm glad the Oversight Committee is actually working, because now there are going to be checks and balances. Checks and balances are somebody who basically runs roughshod over the Constitution itself, over human policy, over human rights policies, over civil rights policies, all over the place. For real. Come on. This is the perfect platform. The State of the Union address did not say anything about gun control or gun laws or anything like that, because the NRA is deep in deep in those pockets. I mean, come on. It looks like a very bad Tarzan movie. It really does. He's not saving anybody but Jane and Boy. Cheetah, you're on your own. I'm serious. Big picture, the report cites serious bipartisan concern over ongoing efforts, led first by former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and more recently Energy Secretary Rick Perry, to transfer nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia without congressional review. It has also raised the question about the nature of Cheeseburger's administration relationship with the Saudi government. Why? To sell arms. Saudi Arabia got a whole bunch of SUVs and all that crap. Okay, they got all that crap, and they wasted it in Yemen. Now the Yemenis Houthis basically got the doggone things, rebuilt it, reverse engineered, and they're using it against the Saudis. And the Saudis are like, what do we do? Let's throw some money on top of it and hopefully it'll go away. We got a humanitarian crisis out here that we caused thanks to the United States support. I mean, come on. Dirty fingers like that means nothing, especially when it happens in Venezuela, and you know this is all about the resources of the oil. Change the Constitution so that way you can say, yes, Guaido, you're a puppet. If you're going to be a puppet, at least be a puppet that sees the strings, homeboy. And if you can't see the strings, guess what? You are leading your people straight into the bowels of the beast. And there's nothing that's going to save you from an insurrection in your own country. I love it. But then again, people, like Vic Venuto says, yes, follow the money. We have to follow the money on this, because all it comes down to is how much money that Deutsche Bank is going to allow Cheeseburger to take time on, say, like paying off his loans. Deutsche Bank should be out of business, but they're not tied to the Fed. They're not tied to the Federal Reserve. See that? Because if it was tied to the Federal Reserve, FDIC would ensure patrons of those banks that Cheeseburger would go to, but he can't go to now. He can't go to not one U.S. bank to get a loan, period. But outside the country, yeah. You can wash as much money as you possibly want. You damn sure can. Come on, look at, say, like, the Canary Islands. You can wash your money there. Switzerland, you can wash your money there. You can wash your money so good. I mean, really, really good. Come on, Betty DeVos has a yacht, for crying out loud, that doesn't have any kind of United States port of entry tags on it whatsoever. But she hides her money in the Cayman Islands like everybody else. Okay? The Panama Papers, people, read them. It'll let you know who's doing what with your money. My money. Our money. That's right, your income taxes are not even legal. Which I seriously go for a complete tax revolt. Don't pay your taxes until Cheeseburger gets his fat, disgusting butt out of there. Him and his migratory, him and all of his illegal aliens. Those things that look like they're all nepotistically born from out of the same stock. I don't know. I mean, come on. It's like kind of horrible. I don't know. I mean, incest was like a presidential thing. Obviously, Cheeseburger has done it very well. I mean, look at the kids. The kids are ugly. Even they're ugly-looking adults, for crying out loud. But there's the problem. Therein lies the problem, people. If we are going to not ratify by 16 states, that's true. That is so true. And to make it so bad, people thought, okay, and this is even funnier. People, middle-class people who voted for Cheeseburger thought they were going to get a tax cut this year. Only lose 8%, that's $175 coming out of your butt. And now there are companies and corporations like H&R Block that are saying, we can give you $100, but you have to enroll in the and you must have twice as much money in the bank before they can give you a loan. Read the small print, record it, put it on pause, read the small print on the commercials before you go there. Because then false advertisement seems to be the crap. I know. It didn't pay since 1999. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. 1999? Man! Oh, Vic, you hit him hard, man. You hit him hard. Straight hit him hard. But that's what I love it, man. People can join the conversation here and say what really has to go on and what really has to happen. Now, in the meantime and in between time, my good people, realize that there is going to be inflation, and of course there's going to be recession. And we are walking straight into this left and freaking right. You know, that's the problem. And as long as we continue to march in that hilarious form of it, I can guarantee every last one of those MAGA hat wearing low-brained idiots that your industrious leader does not care about you. He does not care about anything but himself. Look at the entrenchment he has already caused in the swamp that he was supposed to drain. Didn't happen, did it? Especially when he started outpacing and outgrowing the things that were living in the swamp. So now he is the swamp himself. For real. Think about it, people. If you are going to cause that much ruckus, get on this Wu-Tang reference. If you're going to cause that much ruckus, and for the lack of it, shield yourself with dummies. I mean, come on. Whitaker says he would take a grenade for you. There's not that much gumption in the world for me to take a grenade for somebody unless they really, really, really did something really good. Okay? And that's not brotherhood. That's called a sacrifice fly. The one that we throw away so that way people can run home. It's a friendly game of baseball, people. Somehow the bat has been swinging and nobody's made it to a base yet. Not at all. NORAD County, people. I'm out here in Colorado Springs. Let's say good morning and hello to everybody. You know, I gotta do it, people. That's what we do here. We say good morning because we understand our human connection. And what better way to say good morning to our favorite people? Walter Jenkins, good morning. Brenda Eakin Perkins, good morning. Wu Angola, good morning. Jay, good morning. I know. I get to contact you guys. Paul Martin, good morning. K. Aurora, good morning. KM Aurora, I'm sorry. Good morning. Let's see. Also, let's see. Oh, wow. I love it when they just like strike. Okay, well, let's say good morning to all of the special agents and the officers in NORAD. Okay. Main source, right? Yeah, it's straight up. I had to go for it, man. I had to go for it. Also, Good morning to Walter Wiswadi for being my witness to understanding that there's no heat in my damn house for the last 3 days. Good morning to all of my people in Japan. Daito Eto, good morning. Daizo Eto, good morning. Yukamatsuru Tanaguchi, good morning. Also, my boy Kagako Tanaguchi, good morning. I hope I did not butcher your name. I'm very sorry. Dobo domo. My people in China, ni hao, good morning. Also, Corey Malloy, good morning. I tell you, people just drive me nuts with this. Lindy Stanger, funniest woman on Facebook, good morning. Jay Kwan, good morning. Robert Armeo, good morning. God, you guys coming always at the last moment. I love it. Y'all are great. Y'all too great. Y'all are too great. Also, good morning to, oh my goodness. Nope. Nina Henderson, good morning. Gloria Anderson, good morning. Also, let's see, Heidi Gardner, good morning. Tom Bacon, man synonymous with world domination, good morning. Mark Ruff, good morning. And also good morning to, let's see, Zambor Estrada in South America, good morning. Looking forward to those reports. Let's see. Also, Steve Ivory, good morning, even though you don't deserve it. Oh my goodness. Okay, who is Sammy B? Good morning. Crazy man. Crazy. I love it. Love it. Good morning to everybody around the world. My people in Nairobi. You're missing King is here. Also, good morning, L. Benny. John, good morning. I'm going to use your real name, so fuck it. Also, I'm serious. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Sam Alu, good morning. Oh my goodness. I love you guys. I love it. D-Train, good morning. Oh my goodness. And Joshua Carrasco, good morning. The man who kills the mic in Florida, good morning. All of my peoples in East LA, good morning. All my people in Compton, good morning. All my people in Brooklyn, good morning. All my people in the Bronx, good morning. All my people in Charlottesville, good morning. All my people in South Carolina, good morning. All my people in North Carolina, good morning. All my people in Florida, good morning. All my people in Texas, good morning. God, I don't have people, I have legions. And we're dying. Anyway, let's make sure that we have a good day out there. And for the most important part, put a smile on people's faces, people, because it shows that you are connecting with that individual and you're lifting their burden just for that moment. And by doing so, we show the greatest respect for humanity. All right? Now, I got to get up out of here because I got to go ramble on some doors right now. I got to go down here and talk to this manager about my doggone heat being missing for 3 days. I'm serious. I mean, you can only drink so much hot cocoa before you run out. For real. Anyway, get out there and make sure you share your heart and you share your love with one another. But most importantly, what? Who is this? Dude, my phone is off. All right? My phone is off. All right? So don't even bother trying to call me. It's not going to happen. I got things to do. Anyway, I got to get out of here, people. I want you all to have a beautiful day and keep your eye on the money because that's where it's at. And the more Cheeseburger tries to pilfer his pockets, the more of a grifting we're going to have here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. All power to the people. All people. Purpose. Don't get caught slipping, because I will catch you. And I will catch you all the way out there. Kind of my trademark. I've been doing that for like 15,000 years. Peace!